Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to the Fort Salem Library, where we read you your fanfiction. So sit down or don't, relax or don't, and enjoy these stories in a way you have not before. We at Fort Salem Library do not own Motherland Fort Salem or any of the related characters. The Motherland Fort Salem series is created by Elliot Lawrence and owned by Freeform. This story is a work of fanfiction and is meant for entertainment only. We are not making any profit from these stories. All rights of the original Motherland Fort Salem story belong to Freeform. We also do not own Blood, Sweat, Tears, or any of its original characters and storylines. We did, however, get permission from the author to read their story. This story was created and written by Fab_fan, and you can find the link in our show notes. This story is being read to you by Celine.
Blood, sweat, tears. Zilla swallowed thickly, throat constricted, eyes burning wetly, yet unable to blink, to rip away from what was in her hands. Rael's shirt. The blonde was asleep. The toll of being taken, being subjected to the plague, too much for even the most hardened soul to bear. Zilla stared at the shirt in her hands. Blood, sweat, tears. The soaked cotton weighed heavily in her palms, slipped against her fingertips. It was discolored, bronze stained the collar, the remnants of a cut throat. The splotches dotting near the shoulder were the lingering ghosts of spilled tears. Tears from watching children, little girls, little witches, have to watch someone die. Be afraid, not knowing if they were next. Tears of guilt, of remorse, of wishing the crier could do something, anything, to protect them. Helpless, begging for forgiveness, not knowing if those tears would turn into the mycelium's power, a power that was uncontrollable at times, that was lethal, that had killed before. The pungent odor of perspiration floated up from the threads, slowly unweaving under the stress and pain of the garment's owner, the body's reaction to torture, to blades slicing through skin, penetrating the flesh and drawing blood, so much blood, to a boulder crushing every organ, every bone, methodically decimating every part of a person, until there was nothing left but a soul, if that was even strong enough to withstand the abuse. Sweat from fighting back, doing anything to survive, to take as many with her as she could, not giving up, never giving up. Rael Collar chose to live. Zilla pressed her lips together so hard they disappeared into a thin, pale line. Rael tried. She was a fighter. Zilla always knew it. Even when they first met. When Rael told her about her plan to get blown up, die young, find the only way out the session could see. Rael was always going to put up her fists and do anything she could to get one more breath, one more moment, one more chance. She had, when Zilla attempted to keep her distance, to push Rael away, keep her at arm's length. Rael fought for them. Fought to get Zilla to open up, to get Zilla to trust her, believe in her. Rael made Zilla believe in them, in their future, in love and hope and having a person always by her side, someone she could turn to, could talk to, could hold hands with, and know they were never going to leave, never going to betray. Would stay or leave, it didn't matter, as long as Zilla was doing the same. Rael fought for her and Scylla to be together. She fought for Scylla's love. She fought for her own life. Scylla grimaced as her fingers dug into the shirt, into the blood and sweat and tears of her ex-lover, of the woman she loved, the woman she was willing to die for. The memories haunted her now. They always would. Crouched in the back of the van, the rough road jostling them back and forth. She held Rael as they drove as fast as possible away from the Camarilla compound. She finally got to hold her, touch her, let her hands and mind remember what Rael felt like. How her head fit in her lap, like it used to back at Fort Salem, when Scylla would gaze down into bright, inviting blue eyes, glancing up at her, the two of them huddled together, relaxed, if only for a second. Rael laid out, one knee bent, fingers lifting to trace the curve of Scylla's cheek. Blonde braids nestled comfortably against Scylla's legs. The sun bright and their smiles brighter, softer. This wasn't Salem, though. They weren't together, weren't happy, weren't stealing time both secretly knew they didn't have. No, they were shattered, broken. Two people wandering the world alone, no matter how many others surrounded them. Two witches in love with someone they couldn't have. They weren't in Scylla's dorm, hiding from training and steely-eyed officers who disapproved. They were escaping, running. Rael was hurt. Ignoring Abigail's glares, Scylla pulled Rael into her arms and tried to heal her, closed her eyes against the red, tinged skin and tear-marked face to concentrate on the rough heartbeat and disjointed rhythm of life inside the fixer, opened a link, and witnessed visions she wished to never have seen. The scalpel drove into her chest, just like the knife had jammed through her heart in China. Rubbery, gruesome hands held her as the man's face pressed close. It hurt. God, it hurt. Weak. She couldn't move, couldn't keep her eyes open, couldn't think. Wished Rael had never experienced. Do whatever you want to me. Please don't hurt them. I'm so sorry. The pain was unimaginable. She could hear and feel every bone snap. She felt Rael die. Exhaling carefully, teeth grit, Scylla clutched the shirt in quivering fists. She felt the woman she loved die, saw it, through Rael's eyes. Goddess, the Camarilla hurt her, murdered her, again and again and again, over and over and over. A sick, twisted play that never ended. Those bastards enjoyed it. They took pleasure in trying to take away the one person Scylla needed, the one person who never deserved this. Rael was good. She had a temper and sometimes leapt before thinking. She could be obtuse and act like an idiot. But she was kind. She could be so incredibly gentle, tender, patient. Rael was good. And those bastards smiled as she lay dying, bleeding, in so much pain it could be put into words, over and over and over again. It was because of them there was blood on this shirt, sweat, tears. They hurt Rael because she was a witch, because she was smart and powerful and... Scylla lowered her head, mind and heart roaring to do something, to throw the shirt, to get up and march out of the spree house, hunt down every last one of them, and kill them. See their eyes as the life left their mangled bodies. Let them feel what Rael felt, what Scylla's parents felt, what every single witch who was killed for nothing more than being alive felt. The brunette inhaled sharply and lifted her head, opened her eyes, and saw Rael, resting on the bed, fresh shirt tucked over her head and blankets pulled up to her chin. The roar disappeared. Scylla deflated. Not now. No. Rael needed her. She wasn't going to leave her. Not now. Not ever. She was staying at Rael's side, like Rael tried to do when they were together. It didn't matter what the army did, what Abigail said or Anacostia thought, spree, civilian, whatever. She loved Rael. Goddess, how she loved her. Rael might hate her, scream at her, tell her to go away. It didn't matter. Scylla was staying. Nothing else mattered except keeping Rael safe, helping her heal, bringing back that beautiful grin and sparkling eyes that shinned at Scylla in the sun as they spun around on the dance floor at the wedding. Blood, sweat, tears. Scylla would spill them all, as long as Rael was okay. She had to be okay. You're okay. Tell me you're okay.
Please find the fanfiction you just listened to on Archive of Our Own, and leave the author some love. Without them, this wouldn't be possible, and we want to thank them from the bottoms of our hearts for creating these amazing stories and keeping the show alive.